everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, do subscribe to my channel because here we talk about grammar related stuff of English. And if you're really aiming to be fluent in English with perfect grammar, do subscribe to my channel. And this is our second video of our series Only Parts of Sentences, and today we are gonna talk about pronouns. I'm pretty sure that you might have heard this word before, pronouns. This is a very common word in English. And today we're going to talk about what are pronouns, where are they used, and a common confusion between him, her, and he, she. Today I'm going to clear this confusion of yours. So if you're interested, continue watching this video, please. So first of all, what are pronouns? Pronouns are basically the replacement of nouns in a sentence, because there are times when nouns are being used repetitively. If there were no pronouns, then every single noun would have been used repetitively in every sentence. For example, Radha is a good girl, Radha is a good girl, Radha enjoys music, Radha plays with Reena. So you can see that in all the three sentences, we have been using the same word every time, Radha, Radha, and Radha. But what if we replace these words with she? It would look more nicer, right? So that's the basic work of pronoun. Why are pronouns used in a sentence? To make your speech more smoother and it sounds nice to your ears, because whenever we use something repetitively, it sounds quite odd and out of fashion. And if you will not use pronouns in your speech, then you will sound like a learner or somewhat non-native. But if you want to sound like a native or total pro, like a total pro in English, so you have to use pronouns. Now there are many kind of pronouns, as you know, the first person, the second person, and the third person. And make it clear to you guys that this is just an introductory video of all the parts of sentences. We are going to talk about each and every part in our further videos with more details and in very deep. This is just a rough description of all the topics, even of pronouns as well. I'm just going to give you a rough description of pronouns. So there are three kinds of pronouns: first person, second person, and third person, as you know. The first person is the one who speaks up, the one who is the doer of the thing, the one who basically speaks, or the one who is the actor. For example, now I am speaking, so the word I is the first person. We is the first person. If there were a lot of people over here, so I would have used we instead of I. So I and we are the first person, basically the one who speaks. Now coming up to the second person is the one who listens, who is basically coming up with the work of listening, who basically do listening. For example, this time you guys are listening, and you might have heard or you might know that always the listener or the second person is always and always you. So in you category or in the second person category, you always and always have you. And make it clear to you guys that you is considered as a plural word in English. It's not considered as a singular word. Though it may happen that the you or the listener is singular, but still you is always and always considered as a plural word in English grammar. So even in present continuous tense, we never use you is. Even it sounds quite off. And when I said you is, I myself looked like, what I said just now. So in present, in past, and also in future, you is considered as a plural word. You are, you were, you will. Will is very common with every pronoun. We use will in future tense. Well, we are also going to talk about every particular tense. So if you're also aiming to be particular with the time period that you're talking about, so do watch that series as well. So as I made clear, I hope I made clear to you guys that the first person is the actor, the one who speaks, the one who is the doer. Okay, so over here I am the doer, so I is the first person, you is always under the second person category. and you is the only pronoun which is considered in the second person category, and the third person about whom we are talking. For example, she is a good girl, he is a good boy, they. So you might have noticed that whenever we talk about someone else, we use he, she, and they. So first person, the doer, I, we. The second person, the listener, you. The third person, about whom we are talking, and here it's he, she, and they. She is used when we are talking about a girl in our sentence. For example, if there's a girl, as I said before, Radha is a good girl. So if I want to replace Radha with a pronoun, pronouns are for this only. They replace noun and make our speech more clear. And if I replace Radha with she is a good girl. So we are not talking about you. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about another person who is she. So she we use with girls, he with boys, and make it clear that if only a single girl, she, if only a single boy, then he, if more than one girl or more than two boys or a combined group of both, then we use they. This is a common confusion in English. We often confuse that if there are two girls, we use she's. No, it's not correct. And she is or he is always used when you're talking about single. Just note down this. If you're talking about a single third person, if there is more than two, then we use they, whether it's two girls, two boys, or a combined group of both. Next, what's the difference between all of these? As it might be clear to you guys that the first person is always the doer. So his or her who is speaking will always speak. Basically, he's the doer. Okay. The second person is the listener, and the third person on whom we are talking about. Okay. Now, as I said that I'll tell you what is the difference between his and her, and what's the difference between he and she. He and she is clear to you. Basically, when we show a possession for she, that she owns something, he owns something, something belongs to her, something belongs to him, then we use his or her. And a common confusion also is there, that when to use which one. So there's a trick which you guys might not know, that whenever there's he or she, then it will always be followed by a verb. She is a good girl. Is also a verb, the be verb. She is a good girl. He is a good boy. And his and her will always be followed by a noun. His toy, her dress. So this is a trick that you can do, that you can actually apply whenever you are making sentences, so it never becomes confusing for you. And if you like this video, do subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. And bye bye.